Okay, right. Hello, everybody. I've got a couple of dreams. They're not very nice dreams, but they were dreams anyway, so I'll say it here. Um, about a couple of weeks ago, but they're still my dreams. Anyway, I was in some sort of weird school or laboratory, and people there had to practice something. I was never sure on very tiny babies, which were going to be destroyed afterwards, which was bit yucky, to be honest. Anyway, I decided to take mine home in a carrier bag and found it had some sort of disability. I wasn't quite sure, and I was hoping to let it grow up and then, adult and get on with its life. And to be honest, I haven't got a clue with that, apart from sort of the people that experiment on children nowadays and steal them and all the rest of it.
Is that it, Gwen?
Yeah, that was all, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, that's fine. Is that part one, or did you have another one, but that's one of them, or one?
I had another dream, but it's something completely different.
Okay, we'll go over this one first. So again, what was I just want to, when you just look at it, don't think about it, okay? But when you look at it, what do you kind of see from that? Okay, you just kind of look at it objectively. Just pretend it's someone else's experience and they're telling you. Okay, so what do you see?
I'd rather not think about it, to be honest. It was pretty horrific what I was doing.
Okay, well, that's the world you're in. Okay, so again, it's, to recognize yourself in the whole of life, you got to go through everything. So, yes, I'm sure it's horrific, okay, like running in the nude in your gym class, whatever, okay, or down the street. We all go through these things because we're going to go through everything in creation. But again, it's also, something there that, again, that you decide to see or not. So again, just pretend for a moment it's someone else's experience and they're telling you. So what would you see from that?
To be quite honest, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, here's the idea. Do you want to see what it's about or not?
It was such a strange dream. I'd like to see what it was about, because I've never had a dream like that before.
Okay, well, it can in some way, in other words, the part of it, you took your child, right? And you wanted it to grow up a particular way. It was the basic idea, right? So again, we've been through many lifetimes where, it's not just this lifetime. See, this lifetime you've come here, and for the most part, it's basically fine. But you're still on a human farming planet. And all the kidnappings and whatever, this is what they're doing with the children of the world. This is what they're doing with the people they have for eons. But you're in La La Land. You see, you're in a fabricated lifestyle that you think is life where you're at, you see. So when you have this experience, all of a sudden it's like, well, what does this have to do with me? But actually you're in the reality of it and you growing up objectively. So there's many ways to look at it. I'm not going to say this is it, this is it. There's 1,000 ways to look at it, but you've got the basic idea there, okay? And this is all these things that everyone is going through here, and this is what most people don't realize. They're just thinking, oh, I want to know what my dreams mean or whatever. Well, this is the avenue to your real awareness. And if you don't take it and go through everything, well, guess what? You don't see the real you, which is totally free of everything. And so that's the course. So just like Paul, when I'm presenting, yeah, we have the written word and stuff like that. But the thing is, that's just the beginning. The real guidance is on the inner, but you have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself, and your attitudes won't do it. So the thing is that I see this as, just part of the process that you've gone through. It's a subtle hint, and you decide to face it. But again, I'm not saying that we need to know everything in the world, but with the world how it is and creation, this is through all of creation. I mean, even into the heavens of man. This stuff is happening. Kidnappings, mind control, hypnotism, not just here, not just on the earth or some little factory that the government has created. It's everywhere, okay? It is absolutely everywhere, and this is the challenge to get through this dream. So very fortunate are those that have come to this and understand this. It's not some little program to where you have these little like cute ideas that you chase, like, oh, I love God or something like that. It ain't going to do it. It's just getting very, very real to make contact with your real awareness and start to recognize that at first. But these are things that you go through so that you better understand, because you have to go through your personal self first. And this is where, just like the teacher gives the assignment at the school, you go home, you got to figure it out. The teacher isn't there, so that's the part that you figure out. So if you decide to explore this, and I'm not going to say you're going to know it immediately, you know, it might be 10 years from now that all of a sudden you look back and you remember that experience and you go, oh, now I see what this is. You see? This is why it takes us millions of lifetimes to go through this. It's not a hop, skip, and a jump, because life is big and creation is ongoing. Creation is not endless, but it is ongoing. The isness, the real universe is endless, and it's all here and now. So this all applies. So you decide your adventure. You know, look at the experiences that Kevin has and Peter has. And all you kids have these different experiences, etc. Everybody has their view. And you decide how you're going to see this and face it and whatever, because so much is uncovered, unseen in the unconscious area. This is where most people are controlled in this planet, if not everybody. It's because this is a controlled planet, and you're part of that. But you're waking up to the you're waking up to the conscious effect of what's going on. There becomes a difference to where you can handle it. You see, and so it's all part of it. But you decide to see it or not. Most people will shove it under the carpet and say, "Oh, forget it." You know, I've known so many people that have come and gone. They don't see the whole thing, the whole process. Everything we're going through is a process. Now, I don't always understand all my experiences or the people I meet or whatever, but I'm very focused on the is. That's my reality. I see that, but it's invisible. I can't tell anybody what that is, because each person has to figure that out for themselves, but that's huge. But that's my focus, because I can see it. But again, it's invisible. But while we're here, we go through these visible antics to eventually first recognize our real awareness. So it just depends. So if the experience has an impact to you, okay, so what does that tell you? It's almost like, oh, it's scary. Now face up to it and just walk right through it and see what you see of it. You can do that within yourself just through deciding it. Now, you can call it your imagination or fantasy or whatever, but that's where we are. We are in the passing dream. This is a passing dream, but you've convinced yourself it's reality, so it scares you. I understand. It scares all of us. I have a personal self too. Yeah, the little self, when I'm out there surfing, a big wave comes, my little heart's going dun, 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 because the personal self has its own life here. There's a difference, but once you start recognizing the real you, then you can learn to stand in that, and you still got to deal with the personal self. But these are things that will help you better understand, because again, we're in La La Land here. And as long as you want to cling to that La La Land view, well, you'll be back, because that's what you've done before. You've clung to the La La Land view, and you don't want to hear anything else. You see everything's bad happening in the world, so, oh, gee, you're in the United States. Oh, we're Americans. We're protected here. It's all illusion. There's no safe place. The earth is a dangerous place. And so, again, you decide how you face it. And I know it's scary. I know it is. But, yeah, that's a little psychological rapport there, young lady. But, yeah, most people look for the wonderful experiences. Oh, I flew out of my body and I went to the heavenly worlds. And, oh, it's all nice. Well, guess what? You're still trapped in creation until you recognize the real universes and your real self. You might be in some La La Land for a while, but when you go over all your lifetimes, you're going to see that, yeah, you've been there before. You've been to the heavens of man. You've even been to the real universes, but you didn't recognize it. See, it's that recognition. It's that real recognition. So this is part of it, and it's also part of your wake up. If you're scared, that's good, because that's what it takes to wake you up, to be scared, to be afraid, etc., and then to walk through it, and you see it's okay. It's all part of creation. So I know that's a lot, but yeah, thank you for sharing, Gwen. Did you have another one?
Yeah, I do have another one. Just to make a comment, so years and years ago, I used to have no end of flying dreams, but I haven't had one for ages now, which is, I suppose it's frustrating in a way, but if they're not there, they're not there. Anyway, my next one is really.
Can I say something about that real fast? Yes, they have pills for frustration. That's a joke. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm on enough pills at the
No,
moment.
no, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. But yes, in other words, you can kind of liken it to a person that's kind of a social butterfly. Okay, so what the boys do, and I've seen this many times, is that and you may have the experience where on the real side, they put you to the ground with your back to the ground. Do you know what that means? They want to ground you.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
Yes, they want you grounded. In other words, it's like when we grew up with our parents, hey, we just flew around. Our parents took care of us, right? We did what we wanted, and we even mocked them, because we knew that they had to support us no matter what we did. But at a certain point, we had to face up to things and get on with our life and take care of ourselves, right? So it's kind of like that, yes. And people will have these at different times. They're a thrill. I do too, but I don't consider them. I don't look at it because for the most part, and it is fun, but I don't really, for me, it's an isness. Okay, that's what I focus on, is the isness, because that is a perceivable reality like nothing else. And that's the best part. So, but I would say, yes, there's Peter having one, and he's all excited, etc. And that's good. Maybe he didn't have them, and, the boys wanted to give him that experience, etc. But no, it's okay. And a lot of people did too. And when they were young and they want to get back to that. Well, in other words, it's that little thrill they want, which is fine. We need that from time to time. We need, a candy bar, or go out to a restaurant or to the movie or something for the personal self. Of course, you do that for yourself. But overall, the bigger picture is that you want to get through this lifetime, because it's going fast. And guess what? When you go to the real side, it's not an instant cure. I've seen people worse off on the real side because they don't know where they're at. All they have is their personal reality on Earth. And so they cling to get back to that. That's why they come back here. Those attitudes you'll be carrying. So in the meantime, see, there are things there for you to go through. You decide, and guess what? When you go through these things, okay, you'll be better off. You will face them. Yes, you'll be stronger. Go ahead.
Okay, right. My second dream is a bit strange, but again, that's the way dreams are. I was in some sort of park. It probably was a zoo, but it was lots of insects instead of lots of animals. And we were told that they were going to let off a couple of explosions to release more dangerous insects, but we weren't told why. So we had to find a place to lie down and hide and put our fingers in our ears and cover our eyes. And the explosions went off, and there were huge swarms of insects everywhere, and bumblebees attacking us and all sorts of things. And that's as far as it got.
Well, that's pretty obvious, because that's a warning experience is what that is. In other words, when we had some Asian Skypes years ago, they had some of the people had predictions going on of what was to come, and then it did. Within a year or two, it got really bad in the country. And so if you're familiar with what Bill Gates is doing, etc., with the military, the mechanical mosquitoes and all these things, the explosion, it's kind of like, it's not really that it's an explosion, but it is. In other words, this is going to explode, and your fingers in your ears kind of mean that, oh, we don't want to hear about it. Okay, you see? That's what that means. It's not that it's going to be a bomb. It's just that when they release all this stuff, which they already have, okay, it's I've read many articles around. I haven't seen any here, fortunately, but read many articles about the mechanical mosquitoes and birds and drones and all these things, you see. attacking people, and plus a lot more. Plus we have HARP, Wi-Fi. We're coming into 5G here, which is totally lethal, etc. They're going to encase the planet. So again, yes, I see it as a warning and a heads up. And again, I see that with your, again, that's that personal part. Doesn't want to hear about it. See, when it's just like you tell the public, it's like Kevin's talking to somebody and says, about chemtrails or something. You know what? They don't want to hear it. They want to pretend, oh, it's okay. Oh, they're pollinating is what they're doing. They're helping the bees pollinate. You can imagine whatever you want. But it is what it is. It's not about belief. It's about what is actually happening, and most people don't want to face it. So I'm not saying that you don't, but that's kind of the idea. Again, that's the personal self. But get ready because they're already doing it. So we'll see what happens. But you have the warning. You decide how to prepare yourself. But this is the earth. This is what we have to deal with. Yes, and a lot more. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the last of my dreams, but we're having 5G is being put in place in various places in England. We've been so far, we've been okay, but it's going to come to everybody. So after that, who knows what's going to happen?
Here's the idea also of the 5G, and that is that it really helps with the awareness aspect, the new you and all this, to really study this and really align yourself with your real awareness. I have a good friend here that comes over all the time, Keith Ranch, who's into health and has a business. I've known him for over 30 years. And he drove cars for Toyota. He delivered cars for Toyota for a couple of years. And that new car smell is very toxic. You got about 80 different chemicals in a car. And after about 2 years, he was so full of heavy metals that all the EMFs and electrical stuff and whatever, even in his own house, really bother him now, totally bother him. But when he comes over here, where Kelsey and Henry and Val and I am, all of a sudden he feels like comfortable. He doesn't know what it is. We told him about the new you, but also becoming more aware and focusing and get rid of those unnecessary attitudes and focusing on the real guides and figuring out what your real awareness and the is. That really helps because, again, it's about awareness. You can call it vibrations if you want. Yeah, it's that too. But again, and I'm not saying that's going to be the magic cure because everybody's a little different in their attitudes, their vibrations, their makeup, etc. But that does help. So as you kids continually focus, that will help offset that. And again, it's like, people that have endured, like, there's, what's her name? Anne Frank, that endured World War II and hid from the Germans. She did that for over 20 years, etc. And this is where we're at. The world is not what you think. Yes, you go out there and it looks good, but and have fun, but that's not the real world. The real world is lethal. This is human farming. That's it. There's no variables. And this has been set up by the reptilians and others, other alien factors. There's many alien factors. That's what the crop circles are. Those are stamps on the land. It's like, oh, this is my section. Okay. If people think those are something artistic. They're not. They're brands, like on cattle is what they are. That's the crop circle. So yeah, you're getting a little hint there, sweetie. So we'll see what happens, won't we? But just take care of yourself. And as you keep focusing, it's about awareness. Yes. And anything else, if you want to wear radiation clothing or something, that might help too. Yeah, a little helmet.
Okay, right. Thanks very much. Back to Kevin then.
Okay, and I do believe it is your turn now, Pearce. So if you'd like to share anything that you will, then go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I had a experience this morning. It was wonderful. I don't know what I've said. I was listening last night to the 4-hour New You video on Kelsey's channel. I listened to it for a bit before I went to bed, but nothing happened. I didn't have any real sad experiences. But this morning I got up. I done what I had to do. And I went out into my back garden. I sat on my bench, and I put my headphones in and put it back on again. and yeah, it was fantastic. But it was like it's kind of like it started out as a view. It started, but like I was still like I was like in and out. I wasn't really asleep, but I was like in that place between sleep and not sleep. But I was in and out, and it wasn't sunny or anything. It was one very nice day. It was all grey or whatever, and I was going with a view, and I was on a I was there, and I was on I was like on a beach. I was at the waves lapping, but then all of a sudden, my son come out with his friend, and he was playing some really terrible music, and it brought me out. It brought me out of it, and some really bad music, some I don't know what to call it, a very grime or something like that, some kind of rap music. But it brought me straight out. It waked me straight up from where I was. But I looked at him, and I spoke to him for a second, and then I just put my earphones back in and closed my eyes. And yeah, I was just listening to the new you and the new you in from everyone because it's fantastic. I love it. I love listening to it. And I was there again like instantly. And I was on a beach and turned around and I heard laughter and people talking. And I woke up circle and I've come to a circle and Dwayne's in the circle. Kelsey's in the circle, Val's in the circle, Henry's in the circle, Kevin's in the circle, Claudette was in the circle. And Dwayne says, welcome, join us, come and sit down. And we're all sitting in the sand and we're just singing the New Year, and it was awesome, it was fantastic. But as we were singing the New Year, you could see the New You, you could see it above our heads going round in a circle. It was amazing. And I was looking up. I was looking at everything. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. And the next moment, I was looking at the sun, and I had the view from the sun. I was the sun looking down on the beach at everybody. And then it was just I was there for just looking down. And then it changed again. And I was in this. Because like at the same time, I'm still listening. I've still got the new you music going off in my head, and it's absolutely beautiful, the music. And it's like it's this bit, and it's like it's got orchestral symphonic music playing, and I'm like, it's like I'm in this golden cone. It's fantastic. It's like it's silly I can describe. I was in like a golden cone, and I was travelling up it, but like I could see the notes, the music notes. It was all coming down around me, and I was travelling up this cone. It was all gold, and I was spinning around, but ever so gently, like doing a 360, like revolving, like I'm going up. It was, and all the notes are coming down and on me and through me, and they're like penetrating me. Coming out the other side, and I could see it. I was a golden being, and I was going up this cone. And it was absolutely awesome. And at the top of the cone, I could see Rebazar, and it was big, and there was like I don't know what it was, like an urn or something, but it was like flowing out the music and the sound of the new years and the orchestral music. It was all flowing out of this urn. It's like, and next to it. Rebazar was Gopal Das, because Rebazar had the urn and Gopal Das was on the end. But I was going up to him, and I was just going through the music through the new year, and it was absolutely wonderful. And that can you hear me all right? Because I'm moving back to the phone and imagining it again, and it was just like nothing else I've ever, and it was just wonderful. And yeah, that's it. That's my experience today. What I want to share, and it was funny because I was in it and I was going up, and Gopal, it was doing something. I think it was with his finger. It was like stirring up, like he stir a pot, but he's got something. If you got something in your hand, but there was nothing in his hand. It was just his finger moving, and the music and the flow was coming out of the urn, and it was all golden notes, and it was just falling into me and falling through me, and I was just spinning up this cone of gold. It was absolutely amazing. And then the very next minute, because I was jumped on by my bulldog and it started slamming all over my face, and that brought me straight out of it. I'm surrounded by all of my dogs. I got 7 dogs, but 5 of them was all over me. I was on the bench, but you just all jumped on me instantly. It was something else. It was unbelievable. It was amazing. And I just wanted to share it. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for the new presentation, Dwayne. It's absolutely unbelievable. Thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Pearce. Could you write all that down? Because I'm sure that it was a little hard for people to understand you, but because your accent, but could you write that experience down and send it, put it in the any topic?
Yeah, no problem. I'm actually today. I've got to now. I've got to do it. I've been thinking about it. I'm going to put him into a box and do my real side experiences in books and try and get them out to the kids' schools or whatever. Do something, like try and share it however I can, because it needs to be shared. It's absolutely wonderful.
Great.
And I need to do something. Step up, do something, and that's what I'm going to do. Decided today that's what I'm going to do, because I've been trying to get videos out, but I'm not having much success. But yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. Thank you, Dwayne, again for this, because it's come from you, and it's just wonderful. Thank you.
Well, thank you for stepping up. Yes, it's for everyone. So again, this is why we're here, and testimonials, we'll call them, etc. No, it's very important because it allows others to wake up too. That's why we're here, and it helps you. But yeah, go out there and creatively do something. Have fun, if it's with the kids or making children's books or whatever, and putting your experience, writing a story. Like you can even make it a little children's book, etc. Have fun with it. But yeah, if you could write that one down, Ava and I will take it and we'll frame it and share it also. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you.